Yes, the city of Shanghai, yet again, host to an Intel Extreme Masters, and things have started to heat up here on the opening day of what is sure to be an amazing event as we continue to go forward. We've just witnessed what was a comeback, one might say, in this best of three here by NRG, who were down in the first map, but definitely not out. And perhaps to make a little bit of sense of what we're looking at now in that last map would be my analyst crew here to my right, of course, Pimp and Bleh. Guys, welcome back. How was your game?
It was a pretty good game. Like, hit some headshots, dropped 30 bomb, and we took it.
What do you think, Trace?
Well, I thought this is still an NRG that doesn't look super concentrated in terms of like their efforts, whatnot. It seems like a slow start from them still. However, they were piecing it together just a little bit better there on their map pick, of course. I mean, it's kind of what to expect.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they got off to a good start, got off 5-0, I believe, and then HellRaisers slowly but surely crawled back into the half and actually ended up winning the first half, which was, to me, kind of surprising, given the start they had. So, again, as you said, it seems like NRG are definitely the better team on Overpass, but it seems like they're not peaking right now. They're not playing as well as they have been doing before. Despite winning Overpass, it doesn't give me any more confidence going into train that they're going to take it against HellRaisers.
I kind of feel like we did see some positive signs, like Fluckley started frag again, right? And then, of course, Cirque, we were talking about him. He finally showed up on this time on the city side. He was hitting a lot of nutty shots and whatnot, right? But that's the thing. Overpass is a map where having you need that more structured style of playing. And HellRaisers kind of seemed kind of lost at certain moments. They were just trying to go for those aim deals, trying to win aim deals, which they weren't really winning because the positioning from NRG was really on point. And I think going into train, it's going to be very important. Train is, alongside Overpass, one of those maps which favor teams who have a proper structure, who are well drilled on that map, especially on the CD side and even on the T side as well. Just kind of come running in, just going all guns a-blazing. You need to use the utility. You need to counter the CT utility as well. That could be a problem for HellRaisers because they don't have Walksick, who is a star opper, and especially on a map like Train, his absence is really going to be felt by them.
It really could be felt by them. That's sorry, it's a little much. It was a little abrasive. I tried to crowbar that one in and just really make it work. Didn't really pan out how I wanted to. But you can't sleep on NRG going into a third map. Again, I said earlier on that if this does go to 3, it's pretty much a reset. You're looking at a BO1 right there, but for all intents and purposes, just mentally for these players who perhaps didn't show up in the first map of the series.
It can go both ways. It is, as you said, a best of one now. It's a map that I think both teams can be fairly comfortable with going into a third map. As you said, HellRaisers having the absence of Voxes is going to be a problem for them. I will say, though, that Dead Fox and Fights have been doing okay in the position with the ops. We saw it on Mirage as well. The double op setup worked really well for them. Yeah. Whereas NRG, again, they need Cirque. They need him to step up. One of the problems with Cirque on Train has been that his T-side not always is the best. He's a phenomenal CT opper on Train, but his T-side sometimes lack a little bit of impact, basically. So if he's not showing up and NRG is not feeling it completely, I still think HellRaisers is having a decent shot of taking this.
I do agree. Like the way HellRaisers is playing, especially in Mirage, like on the CT side, like we did mention, like you need to have a better, better understanding of rotations and whatnot, and it's always a problem with the stand-in. However, knowing the fact that it's stand-in and knowing Angel's experience and what he knows, he could probably try and be a little bit more disruptive. But NRG going to be going for set plays on the T side, right? Just try and have like a double man stack towards Poplock. Just mix things up, catch them off guard. That could give HR the edge here in this matchup.
So I mean, perhaps the edge, but I want to ask you guys something that, and it's kind of a riddle at this point. What is something that we all have in common?
Death.
Okay.
Our bad taste in jobs.
Also an interesting answer. Guys, you've really veered the path. I'm going to have to ask my lovely and beautiful assistant, Ollie, to come out at this time as we've kind of prepared something for the 23rd anniversary of your birth. And with that, Oliver, anywhere that you are right about now would probably be about that time. And I feel like it's coming around the corner.
Oh, there it is.
You just never really know when it's around the corner. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And, in IEM tradition, thank you, Ollie. Thank you very much. In IEM tradition.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. Here you go. Happy birthday, everybody. Take a look. Can we get a nice little close-up on this before we absolutely destroy it?
What are you doing?
It's falling apart, man.
Oh, shit. It's all come apart. Anyway, happy birthday, Pimp. 23rd birthday, and perhaps if you are in Twitch chat, you can get the foreheads out, the lulz out for also wishing the Jacob Beneke a happy birthday. Now, guys, we are going to be flipping the script now. We're going to be changing up the gears. We're going to be going into train, and ultimately, is this a map where we can see some of the opping come alive, perhaps on Cirque's side.
I'm just looking at the strawberries right now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
man.
I think it's going to be a battle of the ops. We're going to see the dual op setups coming out if they do have the money, right? And Cirque needs to really step up because, like you mentioned, he does struggle on the T side. But I'm expecting to see a cracker of a game. NRG is going to try and go for the win. Obviously, they are the more prepared team. They don't have a stand-in. HR, on the other hand, they have really nothing to lose, man. They're just going to be going for it. It's going to be all guns a-blazing. It's going to be a blast race. It's going to be one hell of a game.
I'm going to
My
counter
boy
you by
just died right there.
HellRaisers is also going for the win. They also want to win this one.
It's crazy.
Everyone wants to win Counter-Strike, right? That's
I
the
think
thing.
I'm just going to agree to whatever you said and say that HellRaisers is going to win this one.
Okay, well, I believe that could be a fair assessment. But then again, I think if they are able to come into this and get a level playing field going, because you can't hold off that last map. You can't say, oh, it's just going to eat at you. It's going to, it's going to take you apart for all intents and purposes.
Doesn't matter.
It is your birthday.
Oh.
Can you put that in your mouth slowly? That wasn't slowly. Maybe. Okay. Don't. That's gross. We'll move past that now, and maybe talk about some other players that we could see activated here. What are some things that we could hope come out from the NRG side or even the HellRaiser side?
I mean, we saw Fuckley frag very well on the second map.
Family show. Family show. I'm just kidding. I'm messing.
All right.
We saw him frag very well. And I think he's needed again.
Yeah.
If you look at his counterpart on HellRaisers, I would say Bundig is sort of like the similar player for them. And he's been consistently playing well for quite some time. I think he found himself a nice home in HellRaisers, whereas Fuckley have done the same thing with NRG, but it's more inconsistent in a sense where... Stop laughing at me. It's more inconsistent. It's more inconsistent, whereas Bundig, he feels like he's, I would say, comfortable where he's at right now. And if you look at those two, like that's going to be a key duel. Fuckley to play well.
There we go.
I like the
You got to
emphasis.
enunciate the G's right there. Guys, we have about 1 minute exactly. I'm going to have to ask you guys, what are some of the criterias, and really shortly, that could be win conditions for either side here?
First, okay, the win condition for NRG is don't choke. All right, because that's their biggest problem right now. They always, whenever it comes to the final hurdle, just about to close it out, they're like, oh, guys, crap, we can't play anymore, right? So don't choke. They probably have this in the bag. However, for HR, carry on.
The win condition for HR is that Fuckley is not going to have a good game.
Dude, you can't unhear it. Once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. But, honestly, I think you're onto something there, Jacob. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those things where perhaps NRG can bring it full circle here and not have that stand-in factor and perhaps get on the horse that we know that they know how to ride and ride that mother trucker into the sunset.
Amen.
Because this could be the map for NRG to do it. It could be Train or, well, it could go well in the favor of HellRaisers. Only time will tell. And that time is now. I think it's about time we get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be NRG versus HellRaisers here on the third map of the first winners game of the day. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Trace. NRG versus HellRaisers, as you guys said, map number 3. This is the decider, and it's going to be Train as we look to head on through to this one. NRG going to be kickstarting this over on the T side, with HellRaisers sporting the CT side and Dead Fox picking up the defuse kit and smoke.
Yeah, I mean, ironically as well from Pimp, mentioning Fugley as one of the win conditions for NRG. Obviously isolated towards that B-bomb site, usually playing the anchor position on the CT side, so coming into the second half it could be a factor. But for now, Breezy, the first frag in towards the sandwich position of the trains. It's Dead Fox, Issa, and his whole CT side lighting up everyone towards Ali.
Yeah, suddenly there's only Daps left, and he's going to get deleted as well. So HellRaisers securing the pistol here, and dominantly so on that CT side of Train. Now, you and I didn't get to say it, but we were yelling it, but, happy birthday to Pimp.
Of course.
Great guy. Although that said, you wish him happy birthday once on stream when he starts, throwing profanities around. So maybe, maybe that, maybe that says more about him than it does about us. But second round underway, and Deagle's board up over on the side of NRG, keeping a decent bit of money in the bank account. Of course, utility's pretty pivotal over on Train. And also they're going to be doting on the fact that they can bring those AWPs out early on.
Exactly that. One of the things I like to see from NRG, which they do consistently, is if they lose that pistol, they don't fully invest into the second round. They will save about $1,000 into their bank balance. They will be able to afford extra utility into the first buy round of the half. And as you said, on a map like Train, utility is paramount in taking control of the map and also getting onto the sites as well if they are going to be going for an execution-heavy style of CS. But when you have the individual stars as Ethan, Cirque, Breezy as well on train as a player that really can deliver some strong performances. You might want to be leaning it more towards the individual side of CS.
Well, making progress over here towards Abe. Already these rotations coming through. Cirque now arriving, and Ivy gonna catch. I was gonna say maybe them off guard, but Dead Fox has everyone's backs down in the Ivy position. It's just Daps once again, 1v5, last man alive, a PT50 and a dream. And well, he's gonna be holding his ground over here towards main. 20 seconds, he has to die. And Issa's gonna grant him that wish. So what a nice man. 2-0 for HellRaisers. They keep all 5 players alive just to go ahead and benefit them that much more.
Into the second then, as it will be the full eco from NRG. As we should be seeing HellRaisers collecting that 3-0 start. One of the issues actually Mirage, if you remember, was versus those pistols, versus the upgraded Deagles and CZs. HellRaisers on the CT side kept losing so many players early on. I mean, it was a one round, 1 player survived, the next one, 2 players survived from the CT side versus the eco. And right now on train, on this final map, the deciding map at that, they cannot afford that same sort of loss.
Oh, Fugly tries to get past that Incendiary, but not quick enough. Angel doing damage from afar. The nades, the utility, it's all perfect. HellRaisers managed to keep 5 alive once again to move 3-0 up. But now the buy comes in for NRG and get the AWP out on Cirque, but he's going to have to forego the armor to grab it. He does manage to get just the body armor, but that's going to leave him very, very vulnerable up against the rifles over on the side of HR.
Cirque on the T side of train used to be notorious for jumping out towards Olof by blue train and scoping in towards green train, scoping in towards back of alley as well. Will he have that same sort of confidence here in the deciding winners matchup? And so far, going for the peak towards B, maybe expecting Bondic to go for that jump, or sorry, jiggle peak towards lower. This time, though, Bondic with a much more reserved approach to his defense towards the B site, just playing passive behind the grey train as a well-timed smoke lands as they push and swarm this B bomb site.
Yeah, he's not ready for Ethan. That's the bomb to go down, and this attempt at the bonus round from HellRaisers might come crushing down around them.
Did arrive today, so you're going to be let off the hook on that one.
Yeah, that's the beauty of missing your first flight. It's going to be
oh dear.
Going to be the round for NRG, and they are feeling good about that, getting it under their belts early on. One thing they're not really feeling good about, though, is the 4 players currently surviving down here towards Ivy for HellRaisers. It was an attempt at a bonus round. If they keep all 4 alive anyway, their money is going to continue to be inflated through the roof. And that's not good if you're an NRG fan.
Smart call to go for the save as well. As soon as Bondic does concede that B-bomb sign, HellRaisers is just going to be throwing in the towel, saving towards Ivy. And that will mean their cash won't be affected too heavily by the loss of the first buy round. AWP for Angel and a scout for Fetz as well. So they do have 2 scoped weapons to try and gain that early advantage here on their CT side. Get the AWP towards alley, peeking in towards team main, maybe having a peek towards lower ramp as well, as we've seen Cirque challenge that position already. But so far, for Cirque this time, going back in towards team main and playing a more reserved approach. Holding for aggression coming in towards team main, maybe anticipating HellRaisers to get close with some SMGs or some pistols. Maybe underestimating the bar here from the international side.
For NRG, they're going to give up Ivy. Dead Fox heard those footsteps run away. So potentially given a shot to go peek on and out, but he decides against it. NRG rotating all 5 players over here towards the B-bomb site. Bondic standing here alone.
Oh, Cirque's going to go for the pick. Instead, actually, some of the players there, I believe it was Daps, goes for the first point of contact, which means Bondic will be able to get the Molotov off and buy time for the rotations to come in from his teammates. Cirque holding above of the red train, anticipating a player to rotate through connector and jump on that red train. Oh, and he's right as well. Angel with the AWP. And the Soul Orb as well from HellRaisers, quickly taken out of the equation here towards the B site. And once again, we see an early advantage for NRG.
Well, Dead Fox and Daps exchanging a couple of shots towards outside. Daps does for the rest of the NRG guys. Going to try and take control of B, and they topple Bondik with ease. That's going to be Cirque finding his second kill of this round, and already going aggressive, trying to force Fates away. It's going to be Fugly leading that charge. HellRaisers once again going to look to try and save, and if they do, Money's going to keep on building up here on the CT side. They can throw weapons across, and they will be able to field a very good buy once more. Even have the opportunity to move into a double up setup between Angel, Fates, or Dead Fox. But the scary thing right now for HellRaisers is going to be Cirque. You know, finding these shots early on. We saw him have a tough time over on Mirage. He recovered fantastically in Overpass, finished top of the board with near on 30 kills.
He did indeed. Round number 6 though, Harry. As HellRaisers with going for the save 2 buy rounds in a row, do have cash to go for another buy here on a 3rd time running. Orb could be dropped over to Fets or an M4 investment as well. They have the cash to work with in terms of give themselves the best buy possible. 4 sets of utility, or diffusers, apologies, and full utility across the board here from the CT side. As Bondik once again coming in towards the B site on his lonesome. This time, though, the approach from NRG is towards Popdog and no longer exploiting Bondik on his lonesome towards B. Maybe giving a bit of a breathing room here for HellRaisers. As so far, this B site defense has been so struggling, or such a struggle, should I say, from the CTs. But 5 versus 3 here, Harry. 2-man advantage for HellRaisers, as they should be taking their first buy round here of this matchup so far.
Well, Fates going to be holding main, about to be tested. Actually decides to back away. Minute left on the clock, so NRG have time. That is the one thing they are not shy of. Other than that, almost everything leading in the advantage of HellRaisers right now. Flash on out as they start to aggress down. Down Olaf they go. Fates gets caught looking the wrong way. That's their foot in the door. Dead Fox looks to slam that door shut though, and Issa from up in the heavens manages 4 kills. He's going to go ahead and find 2 raining death down, and that's his 4th of the round. HellRaisers is going to be picking up a 4th round to boot. Issa currently 10-0, which is a pretty decent start from him.
Yeah, obviously a lot of those frags are going to be exit kills in terms of the saving we've seen so far from HellRaisers. Even though they've lost 2 buy rounds back-to-back, still hasn't died just yet, as he did go for the save. So, nearly $12,000 there for Issa, and cash in the bank for HellRaisers, but also for NRG as they won 2 rounds in a row. And because actually HellRaisers saved, it meant that NRG was surviving with 4 players, surviving with 5 players, but there's no survival here towards B. Man advantage once again from HellRaisers as Breezy and Ethan get traded out by Angel and Bondik as the rotations flood through connector as the push ensues towards B.
Yeah, bomb it down. NRG looking to try and hold on. All 4 players retaken from over towards connector. It's Fugly in the back line who can make all the difference. Fugly smites down 2, and Dap's going to go out and finish things off. NRG picking up a 3rd round, and they're finally going to learn that Issa is mortal as he gets his first death of this map.
They're also about to find that in an alternate universe, Issa could be a banker right now with some of the cash he's got in his inventory. $14,000, so he can drop the whole of his team and give themselves a strong buy into the 8th. 4-3 as HellRaisers still slowly cling onto the lead, but that lead is dwindling slowly. And the thing is, as a paper as well, Harry, it's been 3 rounds from HellRaisers from the pistol, Picking up as well with the conversion rounds. Oh, I believe that's actually the wallbang it was from Cirque to Angel. But anyway, it's been 3 buy-round wins from NRG and only 1 from HellRaisers. And will Daps make that same mistake in calling for the pop dog split towards the A side with how strong Issa was in the prior round? Ooh, Molotov there going to be deterring NRG momentarily. But they're playing aggressive enough to force out the utility early from the CT side, which is going to bode so well for them into the later portion of this round.
Well, this time they are able to challenge for Pop Dog. They get Ethan down there. And this is definitely going to start to tempt them over here into an A play. Ethan burns in that Molotov and smokes things off. That's going to give up his position. You can see Issa toying with the idea of going aggressive there. Instead has to hold his own at E-box now as that smoke misses its mark slightly over in main. And now things heat up for Issa. Dap's going to put him down. Not usually an AWPer, but he's going to be donning it here. Fade's hiding inside the smoke, not able to accomplish anything. Leaves the pressure onto Angel and Bondik, 2v5. And as they lose Angel, it's Bondik to try and save. The M4 on his back, the armor on his body, I guess. The fuse kit as well. He's going to get hunted down, and Breezy's there to finish things off. So a 4th round secured for NRG.
4-4 then, all squared up as we head into the 9th. NRG now finally making HellRaisers wince under the pressure. They had so much cash to work with thanks to the saves they had from losing Bondik early, saving in the 4 versus 5 towards Ali. And now they have run out of cash, and this is going to be the lead here potentially for NRG when you take a look at the discrepancy between the buys, or lack of buy, you could say, from HellRaisers, as Breezy going to be having a shooting gallery towards Pop Dog. That's actually that flashbang will give some cover for Bondik and Co to push in towards Pop.
All Angel had to do was buy time, and there would have been players hot on the heels of NRG here. Bondik could deny that bomb plant. Indeed he will. And Cirque even misses the opportunity at the trade there. He's not going to be given another crack at that anytime soon. Back down the ramp. This time it's Issa and it's Bondik. Once again from above, going to rain down that much more destruction into this bomb site. And no one can seem to land a shot on Bondik. He's only got 2 bullets left in this CZ. That's the real problem. They rotate out with the bomb on their back. One issue with this is going to now give time over to the side of HellRaisers to retrieve rifles and have a decent shot. Winning this round. Dead Fox even spotted out now inside of this bomb train, and as he falls, Bondik, he's been the star of this round for HellRaisers, now has that much more to do. He's going to go through the smoke. They look to challenge him. Time ticking down, and Bondik doing all he can. And once again, they change bomb site.
Ring around the
cat and
roses.
mouse.
Well. Bondik still trying his best, but that shot from Breezy on towards the default site pretty much sealed the deal in that 2 versus 2. HellRaisers cutting it close, and arguably closer than usually within the buy rounds, as when they had just the pistols and no Kevlar. But 1 round advantage here for NRG now going forward on their terrorist side, and that's very, very good considering as well they did lose the pistol. So starting off with a 0-3 deficit and still have the lead this early on to the half really goes to show the effectiveness, the prowess of their game plans in the buy rounds. Oh, Molotov in towards deep T main is going to be heavily impacting the health of Daps, down to 53 HP. There's aggression now from the CT side in towards Ali, but Breezy once again holding the angle and the line here towards Ivy.
Yeah, Dead Fox is the man looking for a fight. Right now it's a stalemate between the 2 of them. And actually Breezy going to back away. The timing going in favor of Dead Fox. He gets so much information on the back of this for free. Clearing out all of Ivy. That's freed up rotations to come through. Over here towards this B bomb site, and Angel dropping down the 2 players. Up above, they're not ready for Dead Fox in the back. He can make all the difference here. Does manage one. He spots out the bomb as well, and now it's just down to Issa to hold off Pop Dog, and hold it off he shall. 2 quick kills with the MP9. HellRaisers is going to come bouncing straight back with a 5th.
5-5. As once again, this matchup so close and down to the wire. As both teams can buy. Cash on the side of NRG isn't too strong. Same can be said as well for HellRaisers. And this is the round, Harry, where it's on a knife's edge. NRG, if they win this one, they can reset the money from HellRaisers and basically run away with the T-half. And conversely, for HellRaisers, if they win this one, they can get themselves back into it and get a strong, solid CT defense. But smokes towards the outside side as Ethan kicks things off.
He's not content with just the one, though. Going to do that much more damage onto Angel. Dead Fox tagged down as well. Molotov brings Angel down to within inches of his life. Breezy clearing out Ivy. Angel's been spotted by Ethan, who can't quite connect the shot. It's going to be Cirque to find it. Now Bondic and Fates left alive, go charging on through into the waiting gun of Breezy. And that'll be the round. Fates looking to back away. Now he's been someone we spoke about a lot today. And he had a great performance for them across both maps, in all honesty. But here on Train, he seems to have fallen flat.
Yeah, I mean, we said the same about Cirque on Mirage, so we have to be fair here. As the AWPer, if you are struggling to get into the matchup and struggling to get comfortable, having one frag after 11 rounds being played out, especially on a map like Train, which really exemplifies the issue of an AWPer going missing, simply isn't good enough. 6-5 as HellRaisers' Cash has now been sent into disarray. Ooh, see, this is where the shots are nice. The problem is we need this impact earlier on into the round where he can do this do this at the start of the round, get a 3 versus 5, for example, or a 4 versus 5 early on towards T-Men. We've seen Daps peek there. Towards Ali, we've seen Breezy pushing in towards Ali. There are opportunities and chances for an AWP to gain the entry. The question is their positioning, as usually is Dead Fox towards Ali. Actually, notoriously as well, we would see Dead Fox secondary AWP towards Ali, and it would be effective potentially. Problem is, though, is their cash or is their economy not quite high enough and strong enough to be able to afford that double AWP setup?
Well, I mean, as we can see right now, it's not even strong enough to sustain a regular buy, let alone moving into the double AWPs just yet. So they're going to be instead looking for the partial buy around this AWP. Going to be a second stage loss bonus at the end of this round, so nice $1,900 for them. That doesn't leave them a lot of room to invest in this round, and that's what you can see on your screens right now. Dead Fox with just the vanilla pistol. The rest of the guys, CZ Deagle and a P250 between them. Some real quality of the pistols. We just need some dual Berettas, and then we've got it all. But sadly not the case. Dead Fox just shoulder peeking the angle here, keeping their attention fixated on Ivy, hoping as well he can waste some utility from the side of NRG. It's all stuff they have to rebuy into the next round. Fugly and Ethan construct the quick tower and knock down Angel over in Pop.
That brings this one back into a more manageable position. 4 versus 4. But he has telegraphed exactly where that saved AWP is. And unfortunately for HellRaisers, that is really where it all ends in terms of firepower. But fortunately for HellRaisers, he's rotated at just the nick of time as he gets the tag onto Ethan. But with 50 seconds left, NRG can still go back towards Pop Dog, rotate in towards the A site, and Fex, he's clocked onto it as well.
Yeah, he's heading around back towards A. Ooh, Ethan spots out Bondic now. The question mark becomes, do NRG continue with this A play or do they head back towards B? Ethan's cleared it out. He's gained control, but they're going to go and take the fight over here inside of A. They run the gauntlet, and Fates and Dead Fox going to get rid of them both. As now Cirque and Ethan left alive. Want to try and hold on this round. This is a round that HellRaisers had no business winning. Dead Fox with this scavenged AK. 7 seconds left on the clock, and Ethan holds his own. Protects Cirque as the bomb goes down. NRG going to be securing a 7th, but that comes far closer than it ever should have done there for NRG.
Still, though, they pull through with the round victory, already able to accumulate 7 rounds on their T side. And when you add in the caveat the fact that they lost the pistol as well, Harry. This has been an incredible T-half from NRG. And I think what's even better to note is it hasn't been one player really standing out. In terms of frags, they're all evenly matched here towards 8 and 6 kills. It's been down to the team play and the cooling as well from Daps. Has been the defining factor here. But unrelenting pressure towards the A side as NRG want to keep pressing the issue and keep forcing the hand from HellRaisers, as with the flank from Bondik, it has to be effective.
They're going to continue to wrap on in, but Daps holds down at the angle. Fates, we spoke about him. He struggled early on, but now he started to find his footing. They needed to step up now more than ever. 1v2. The bomb now working against him as well. Daps on the bomb train. Holding from afar is Breezy back towards main. Spots out Fates, the buffer, and he's not ready for it. That's NRG securing the 8th round. Fantastic T-side from them thus far. Breezy starting to pull ahead in terms of the frags, but as you say, for the most part, very evenly matched game here for NRG.
Yeah, I mean, already gained 8 rounds before the half has even concluded. As we head into the penultimate round here of this first half, this final map of this best of 3. Winner goes into the semi-final on Saturday or Sunday. Not quite too sure the scheduling just yet. So actually, if NRG win this one, they could have a few days off. So, are they going to be enjoying their time here in Shanghai, or are they going to be under the pressure of more best of 3s if they lose this one? Early on aggression, though, from Cirque and Co. As it is down to the 3 versus 2. But no armor to back up the players from HellRaisers means NRG are still the favorites.
Just Fugly left alive. It's his flank from Bondik doing so much damage. Now the pressure falls on a one-man for NRG. They've been struggling versus these very, very weak buys from HellRaisers. HellRaisers? HellRaisers.
Mate,
what a
maybe
good alteration. Yeah. But one man left. He looks to give him the Bondik, but it doesn't happen. Fugly finds him. NRG, a 9th round. Once again, it comes down to the wire, and on the back of one man, they hold on.
Here, the screams as well across the hall from the players of NRG. Shows how much it means to them. After such an embarrassing loss to Complexity, E United as well at the American Minor, they have something to prove, a chip on their shoulder, to show that it was just a one-off and a bad day at the office. And for HellRaisers, you know, winning the CIS Minor, playing with a standing as well at this event, it means that they can have a more relaxed approach to this tournament, this event, and that can play in their favor.
Ethan hinching his way out from May. No one keeping an eye on this from the HellRaisers side. Cirque gonna get caught out over in Pop Dog, but it's Ethan progressing all the way over here towards Old Hell. So much ground gain. They've spotted out Fugly though, so he has to try and pounce quickly or else all of this will be for nothing. And as that clock ticks on down, they're going to start to expect the man over here towards Ivy that much more. Nade damage onto Ethan, finds him, or onto Fugly rather, finds him bought low. Ethan still on this wrap, but he's going to get spotted. He has beheaded Fates. He's divided their attention as well. Fugly looking to try and execute out from main. It falls at the hands of Dead Fox, leaving Ethan in a 1 versus 2 in his attention split. It's Angel to lock in that round. This ends 6-9 in favor of NRG. Still, HellRaisers clawing back a couple of rounds there, though, towards the end of the first half. We're going to have to throw this one over to a break, and then we'll be back with the second half. Well, the big question now becomes, does Daps and the rest of the guys have the NRG to pull themselves into the semi-finals? Or is Angel going to succeed in raising his boys from hell? We will see as we head on through to the second half here. Deciding map in the winners' best of 3. Currently 9-6 in favor of NRG. How are you feeling heading into this one, Snots?
Feeling pretty confident with the pick from NRG. I mean, 9-6 as you said, but that's a 9-6 with losing the pistol on your T side of Train. And that's quite a feat in itself. As we go into round number 16, Fets with the smoke coming in towards, I imagine, front of connector, as this might be a fake towards the B site, then going back through Pop Dog, smoke front of connector, flash over towards T main, and then basically flood in towards the A site.
Well, let's wait and see. No. That was my tower of water bottles dismantled before my very eyes. But focusing on the matter of hand and things getting dismantled, will this A site hold get dismantled? NRG with 3 players here. Cirque and Breezy playing down towards Ivy. Ethan lies in wait in connector. Daps available with a quick rotation. He plays the connector for the B side. Now going to start to rotate around. The pressure applied. Cirque going to manage one before he's a trade. Breezy chiming in with one through the smoke there. And Ethan, a quick tap onto Fates. And another Deweesa. It is just Dead Fox left 1v4. This is not happening. Ethan steals the show once again. And a pistol round. It's going to be 3 kills for him. NRG 10-6. And now a chance at extending that lead that much more. They convert everything how they should. Should see this go 12-6 before the buy comes in for HR.
Yeah, especially with the bomb not even going down as well. 4 HellRaisers. Ethan just sniping them down with the USP at range on towards that default position on the site. 10-6 as you said, and even though the pistols now are 1-for-1, once the conversion rounds have ended, we could be seeing a 12-6 scoreline. So the mental fortitude here for HellRaisers is going to be tested. Playing with a stand-in, it is going to have that relaxed approach, that more calm, collected, less stressful, tense atmosphere within the roster. So they can maybe let these sort of games slip and mentally tap out of this one, knowing that it's okay to lose. And I believe they will play the winner versus 5 Power. Yeah, they'll play the winner of obviously 5 Power versus Virtus Pro, depending on who wins that one. And obviously who loses this final map here. But for NRG, it's looking good. It will be the force buy though coming out from HellRaisers, or only really Issa forcing into it fully. CZ, careful out for him. Angel as well going to be investing into some utility. But apart from that, $1,000 kept into the bank balance of the remaining players from HellRaisers. So they do have some cash afloat going into that next and first buy round of the second half.
Yeah, this B-bomb's so proficient at getting that bomb down. They line up the smoke for connector. Have the availability as well to drop one down the lane, and that does look to be the case. The bomb's going to come on through. Going to be 5v5 in the retake here for NRG. A chance for HellRaisers to get into afterplant. So you can see with these CZs, they've worked their way up close. Going to try and take the fight to the CT side. Right now, this retake needs to be faster. They have to try and speed things up, but they don't want to run the gauntlet against these pistols and Fates. And Issa going to manage frags between them. Everything's coming up HellRaisers right now, as Daps is left in a 1v4. Times tick down far too far, and he's got to try and hide away. Weapons will be retrieved. Frags might be found, and ultimately HellRaisers going to be walking away from this very, very happy. A round they had no business winning. They make it look easy. Now 7-10. It's NRG on the back foot in terms of the economy.
The analysis desk was mentioning the notorious choking capabilities of NRG in these decisive third maps.
Definitely not the trait you want.
Yeah, indeed. And it's rounds like that that can really force that out of them. As they will be going for the force back into it though against them. UMP for Daps. P250s, Deagles, CZs across the board from NRG, but it is going to be 4 players forcing. Just going to be Cirque onto a P250. Early frag as well found by the CT side, so does bode well for them going forward. As if they lose this round, that lead they had earlier would all be for nothing.
I mean, their pistol's not living up to the hype HellRaisers just yet. Fugly's going to be able to reclaim himself too, and it's actually a 1v2 right now. Breezy, quick dig down onto Issa. Now he's retrieved an AK. He's going to peek out, and that's Dead Fox dropped. So NRG, they successfully managed to steal it back, and we're going to be seeing the infamous case of the 4-spy war right now. First team to win 2 in a row wins. The 4-spy war, that is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they win 2 more, it's only 13-7, but yeah. I'm pretty sure people at home got what you meant. 11-7. As it's going to be the triple SMG investment by NRG. And to battle them is going to be the single AK from Dead Fox. Deagles and PT50s. Deagles and CZs across the board as well from HellRaisers with some good utility as well. So if they can get a early lead here, try and gain that first frag off the back of Dead Fox, go for a contact play with the AK, get the advantage in terms of manpower, they can execute onto these sites with that advantage already in their favor. So I won't be writing HellRaisers off just yet, as they are rekindling back towards the A site.
They do have to try and get past Ethan. Over here in Pop Dog, the MP9 up close. It's a difficult beast to contend with. And he's tagged down Angel. Takes a bit of damage in response, and now Ethan hears those footsteps over towards B. That is going to keep Daps and Fugly there, rooted in position for the time being. Actually, it's even enough to tempt the rotation away from Breezy, who actually leaves Ivy for the time being. Now heading back over here towards Old Hell. 3 players coming his way. There's that AK on the back of Dead Fox to open up. Cirque answers back as best he can, but still more players pressuring him. Landed on in from all sides. These pistols going to do damage the closer they get. Angel falls prey to Fugly. Daps drops 1 more. It's faced with the scavenged rifle now trying to hold his own, and we're back into a 2-on-2, Snods. Keeps getting closer and closer, and into the gauntlet they go. Bondik finds a double. And just like that, HellRaisers, they find an 8th.
They do indeed, off the back of a single AK from Dead Fox, 3 Deagles and a CZ. Well, for NRG, were they playing that one a little bit too passive, giving up too much space, you could argue, towards Ali, towards team main, to have Dead Fox with the AK, go for the peaks he was looking for. Bondik as well gets an entry towards the A site, close range, towards Electric. So, tactical timeout here from NRG as they try to distill the situation. They have about $1,800 in the bank apart from Breezy's on 3,000. If Breezy does save this round, they can maybe get the AWP out as well into round number 22. And even then, at that point, HellRaisers are going to be knocking on the door as well of the comeback. Maybe a 10-11 scoreline or an 11-11 scoreline. But it will be NRG conceding the, as you said, battle of the 4 spies. Going to be going for no Kevlar, just upgraded pistols, as HellRaisers look to try lock in 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, this is going to be their real shot to get that done. The utility flushing these players out. Ethan gets that 1 frag, but that should be it really coming through. And there we go. Everyone falls over on the side of NRG. 11-9 as HellRaisers find success. And over on the side of NRG, there is no more money left. Well, they don't have to get a couple of pistols out. They can get the AWP as well, as you say, with Breezy saving that much more cash. So they at least have that to look forward to. Regardless, this game now becomes that much more close. A 10-11 scoreline looking likely here for HellRaisers.
Yeah, double eco from NRG, which means they put a lot of stock into a double AWP setup potentially. Cirque on the primary, potentially Daps or Fugly on the secondary. But will that adjustment in defense, bringing out the 2 snipers, be the right call? I think it would be. HellRaisers so far, they play the slow, methodical style of CS, And having those orbs to try and exploit that, catching them when they're doing their default could be very effective, but also very costly as well if they've gone for the extra save into this one to bring it out. But who knows, they could go for a 4 rifle setup and 1 orb, just go for the double save for utility so they can have 4, 5 Molotovs, full sets of defuse kits and utility. But anyway, Angel the first frag kit, Cirque up close but with a USP, not really going to be expecting too much from him as the push comes in towards the A site.
And now, I mean, now just Fugly and Breezy to get by. Make that just Fugly. Long range with a CZ, not exactly its forte. Any buy next round anyway, so he's going to stick around and look to try and find something. HellRaisers, they will be assuredly moving forward onto a 10th round. This game gets ever closer at the end of the first half. Let's not forget it was 9-6 in favor of NRG. So you imagine on paper, look at this, coming into the second half, they were massively favored, right? Moving on to the CT side. They have you know, a real shot of being able to close this out. They can continue that good fashion. But then the Force Spire War going back and forth kind of called all that into question. This is the first time, you know, it being round 22, meaning we've seen, what, 7 rounds so far in this second half. This is the first time we see 2 full buys for either side coming out.
Yeah, so no double op setup here from NRG. Instead, investing into the double save to allow them to have the full utility across the board. Although saying that, a lot of it's going to be dished out early on. Already 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Only a Molotov for Breezy and no utility at all for Ethan, as the cash isn't quite as inflated as we anticipated, Harry. But Sir delivering the goods. First frag found here from the CT side as the onslaught comes in towards B.
Cirque not going to miss that shot the second time around. Still posted up, still raining down death, and Fate's going to offer himself up. And now it is just Angel. Not anticipating that wraparound arriving so early on behalf of Ethan. NRG quick to secure a 12th round. Put themselves back in the driving seat. There is still money for HellRaisers. They can still get the buy in here. Fate's going to be bringing out the AWP. Rifles across the board for everyone else, but that buffer of cash that HellRaisers once had has now been extinguished. They won't be able to buy into this next round unless they get the bomb down. If they get the bomb down, they can still look forward to a buy. Maybe even get the AWP because of Issa. If not, NRG, they could potentially carve themselves a pretty neat path to 14-10.
And that's the point, really. For NRG, in these close matchups, it's usually to around this point where they kick it into 5th gear. Versus 5 Power, it was 11-10. Versus HellRaisers and Overpass, it was 11-9 or 11-10. Very close in that regard. And it seems like NRG, they get off to a good start. They then slip up a little bit in the mid portion of the map. Of the game. And then it seems like they always pull through in the end. Adding to the storyline, making it a little bit more intense. That's what we want. The more competitive game here, Harry.
Yeah, Americans love their theatrics. Anyone who watched the major where Cloud9 won, you will not forget
just
that
showboating
fact. Yeah.
going into OT.
They just love a bit of overtime. But here we go. Let's see if that still stands true. Let's not forget a win for them here. If they can keep things clean in this round, we'll set HellRaisers up for an eco in the next. Angel opens things up. There's a lot riding on this round, and he knows it. Cirque in with the trade. They're not ready for Breezy. And that's an easy frag. Cirque going to manage one more. Angel answers back as best he can. But the death rains on down from Fugly. 13-10, and everybody dies for HellRaisers.
Just a crossfire there from NRG. Cirque on the default site. Breeze as well towards the green train. Able just to annihilate HellRaisers as they charged in towards A. Seems like once Cirque gets warmed up into these matches, he's firing all cylinders. He's a player that can be hot and cold, momentum-based, someone who at the start of the match, if you get him wired up, fired up, he will continue that performance over the course of the map. We saw Mirage where if he gets off to a slow start, he replicates that in the second half. And it's a scary prospect for HellRaisers to be dealing with when in the former 2 buy rounds, obviously towards B in the last one with the afterplant. And that one there on the A site. Cirx getting into it. But 3-1 advantage here for NRG going forward. It is just going to be the eco from HellRaisers, but speaking of Cirque delivering the goods, instead, he's going to be delivering $300 into the back pocket of Issa.
Yeah, that's a real yikes moment there down towards Ivy. They haven't gone around to retrieve the AWP either. You can still see Issa's lurking around this portion of the map. Would love to get his hands on it. The push comes in over here towards B, and Angel delivers with a dig of his own, closing the gap as they push on up to try and take the fighting connector. Wrapping around, Issa's in the back line there, not ready for it. They've juggled that AWP away, so he's not able to hold on to it, but he might be able to catch these players as they look to try and save. The digs for HellRaisers have prevailed. This would have been a massive round for NRG. And I mean, really, this was their best shot to kind of close this map out here and now. A 14-10 scoreline puts you so close to being at that finish line. But it all falls short. HellRaisers only really investing, in a couple of deals. Only armor up for Issa. They're going to keep on pushing forward. They might even take all the rifles away. Breezy's good for 2, but that's it for him. Only Daps survives. This becomes a pretty devastating round now for NRG.
Tactical timeout called by NRG. Once again, after losing versus a situation which seemed so favoured to them, they will be going for the 30-second timeout to try and see if they can fix the issue, sort out any animosity or arguments going over whose fault it was, just recalibrate themselves mentally and come refreshed into the 25th. As only 2 rounds separate these two teams currently. HellRaisers will, for the back of the round win in the last one, will have the cash advantage going forward, which means if NRG lose this round, they will be out of funds. And at that point, we could be seeing a 13-13 scoreline, all things considered. And on a final map of a best of 3, that's really what we're looking for.
Yeah, especially when there's such a big advantage on the line, right? The winner of this heads on through to the semis. And quite crucially, gets those few days off in between, to study the rest of the opponents, see what's going on, see how some of these lesser-known teams like to play. Daps this time around able to open up with that SMG. Man advantage gained early. Ethan going to find one more, peering over the top of the smoke there. Fates answers back as best he can, is good for 1. Issa continuing to lead the charge on in. Taps down Breezy. Ethan in with the response. Pressure now falls onto Fates, the stand-in for HR. Last time he was with them in China, they placed 3rd at the SLI League Invitational. This time, they could be potentially securing their spot in the top 4 if they win this best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's so crazy, right? When you think about it, if NRG win this one, they're locked in for a top 4 finish. If HellRaisers lose this one, it's not even certain they make it out of the group, let alone a top 8 finish. They still have to play the deciding best of 3, then go on to the quarterfinals at ChinaJoy in Shanghai, play another best of 3 versus a team from the other group. So, nothing is certain. As Breezy takes control towards Ali. Means HellRaisers will be lacking that part of the map early on, but it seems like it won't matter at all as they're going to be upping the tempo, going for the high-octane style of CS as they charge out through A main.
But Issa, he's been so key to the success of HellRaisers in these last few rounds. He's found a quick double, and now the pressure falls to Breezy and Fugly. They've grouped up. They're going to try and get this job done together. Now, there is only 1 rifle up for HellRaisers as it stands right now. We spotted out one of these players. That's Breezy looking to step up to the mark. Time ticking down. Does find damage on a Bondic. He's going to burn in the fire and flames. Fugly knows the whereabouts of Angel. The nade should be enough to finish him, and he falls as well. It's all onto Dead Fox. They're on the bomb, and Breezy trying to take a bullet for Fugly. He sticks it, gets away with the defuse, and even finishes off Dead Fox at the very bitter end. 15-11 map and series point here for NRG. And there is no money for HellRaisers to have a full buy. It's going to be the Force. They call in a tactical pause just for the occasion. And this is now a horrible spot to be in if you are HR.
Just the cash alone. Not only are they up against it in terms of NRG now being on match point, but only $3,000 is all they have left to work with to work out their best possible option in terms of their buy. Do they drop over AKs to Issa, Dead Fox players who have been paramount to HellRaisers to get 11 rounds so far? Do they spread the wealth here and go for CZs and upgraded pistols across the board? But it seems like they are going to be going for... Oh, wow, I thought actually Issa was going to be drop those AKs. Instead, no head armor from Issa. Going to be taking that risk. So one shot to the head from the UMP M4s, even USPs at this point from Cirque if he whips that bad boy out. But MAC-10 from Dead Fox, Deagle and CZ from Fetz and Angel, and then Galil and AKs is the only rifles that HellRaisers are wielding into potentially the last round we see here in this best of 3.
Well, they're just going to try barreling in towards the B-bomb site, as plain and simple as it gets. Sadly, they lose 2 men early on. And we give it a bit of ground as Cirque misses a couple of shots, very uncharacteristically so. Angel going to chime in with one on the back of the Deeg. Surely the Deegs can't yield success once again and save HellRaisers, pulling them up from the depths. It doesn't look like it's meant to be as it all falls onto Angel. Easton deletes him, and NRG, they're going to get the job done. 16-11 here on Train. They'll be closing out this best of 3 series in a 2-1 fashion, securing their spot in the semi-finals and now leaving HellRaisers to have to keep on fighting through the groups to secure their spot later on.
Yeah, I mean, Issa trying his best there for HellRaisers, 25 frags for him, but still concludes 16-11. We mentioned with the absence of Woxic, Issa, as the, one of the star players from HellRaisers, really has to put his foot down here and show up even bigger than usual. He did try his best. They're nearly getting to 30 frags, but even that would have been enough. 16-11 as we go into the analysis test to break that matchup down. Stunner, take it away.
Yes, thank you very much. We do see the conclusion of our first best of 3, 1 of 2, which were winners matches. And this one, though, has secured NRG a spot in the semis, and what is sure to be the easier path to where they're trying to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was one of the expected results, at least I would have felt. Of course, after map 1, we were kind of feeling a little shaky there, right? But NRG, let's look at the teams here in this tournament, right? We thought it was going to be NRG, we thought it was going to be Gambit, and probably HellRaisers, who were going to be the main teams in the into the playoffs, so to speak. So NRG showing up, Train, it kind of came down to what we expected, right? The lack of Woxic was very much felt. Fetz really didn't show up on the first half. He needed to do much more work. Issa did whatever he could, but there's so much you can ask of the guy. NRG, though, overall, like, here's a key difference. This is where it all went down to was the A bomb side defense, right? HellRaisers had no defense on the outer bomb side. They were just losing all the duels with no crossfires. And for NRG, their fundamentals were solid. On the CD side, they had crossfires right. The rotations were good. And on the T side, they were peeking and prodding, making HellRaisers feel very uncomfortable. And that kind of showed all the chinks in their armor, which was primarily the lack of Woxic.
Is it fair to say no Woxic, no party?
It's fair to say, Trace.
It is indeed.
Sorry, I just wanted to say it, actually.
Yeah, we know.
It's okay.
Really about it. So anyway, yeah, we could talk about those things in the armor there. But I really...
Playing it safe, okay.
Yeah. Well, when I look at this HellRaisers lineup, it's obviously have a little bit of explosive potential. When you look at the individual players, the problem is the fact that it is this stand-in stuff again. Like, Pimp, go on a rant about stand-ins.
Yeah, you love the word stand-ins, I've heard. I mean, it is a problem in this case where it's the best player that is missing, without a doubt. Woxic is probably one of the best AVP players in the entire world, especially when he's in shape and in form, could argue that. And when you bring a guy like Fights, who is just a decent player without being ignorant or arrogant towards anyone, it's just not good enough. And especially, as you said, the lack of Woxic we're showcasing a lot here on Train. I will say, though, that NRG, it's one of those situations where they win even though they don't play good. It can be two things. It can be a sign of class that you're able to win even though you're not playing good, or it can be a sign that NRG is not where they want to be right now. We saw it at the minor qualifier. We see it a little bit here. I feel it's not the same powerhouse. It's not the same. Basically, I don't feel as convinced by watching them play as I did only a month or 2 ago when they basically blew HellRaisers out of the water at Star Ladder. So it's one of those scenarios where NRG can be happy that they won, but they have to step it up a notch in the semifinal if they want to go all the way to the final.
Well, there is one gentleman that is going to be very happy right about now. It's going to be Cirque from Team NRG. We do have Matt down on the floor to hear exactly what he has to say after coming off of that victory.
Yeah, thanks, Stunner. Cirque, we started the day with you. We shall end NRG's day with you as well. You started, in fact, at the start of the first game. You guys were so loud on the opening map earlier today when you got the first pistol round. You've ended it noisily as well. Successful day?
Yeah, I guess. We were talking about it before we came to this tournament that we would try to be loud just for fun so we can keep the mood up, and I think it's going good.
That mood left you for a while, though. Mirage, tell me about Mirage. First map there. That's not what we really expected from NRG.
Mirage, we were cold, they were playing good, and that's pretty much it. They were playing pretty good. I feel like since they're with the new fifth, like temporarily, I feel like that's one of the maps they got ready on because they were playing pretty good.
Okay. You came alive on Overpass. We know you're a threat on Overpass. More than a threat, you're a danger on Overpass to everybody you face, and that really warmed you up.
Yeah, Overpass is one of our good maps, so yeah, it was kind of normal.
So you go through to ChinaJoy. You are going to come out as winners of Group A, straight into the semi-finals for you. Nice break between now and then before we go to the big stage at the biggest technology and digital event in Asia. Looking forward to seeing what it's like playing on a stage at ChinaJoy?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. My goals for this tournament were to just make it out of groups. I just want to see a stage in China, pretty much.
Are you going to be on that? We'll find out who you're going to face later on in the tournament. But well done. Well done to Cirque. Well done to NRG. Stunner, we've got our first semi-finalist.
That is absolutely correct. Thank you, Matt. Of course, you can see Cirque there, not able to really contain his excitement for just what they accomplished right there. I mean, going straight to the semifinals is a pretty smooth path. And what they say is slow is smooth and smooth is fast, which has absolutely no bearing on this.
There were a couple of bumps. I mean, one being Mirage, of course. Like, you know, it wasn't that easy. I completely feel like it's not like you shouldn't be too happy with the way you won that. You shouldn't be too happy with the way you reached the semifinals there, right? They should kind of take this as, I wouldn't say a lesson, but more like just go back to the hotel room. They have a day off, I think. Now they can just, you know, go back, sit back, just look at some of the demos, try to figure out what's going on. And the one thing that he noticed right now, what Suruk mentioned, like how they're yelling a lot, cheering themselves up a lot. I think that's something which I tried to implement post that Asia Minor thing when they started losing. They were just like, shut up. Everyone just kept quiet. No one's really communicating. No one's really talking, right? So I think that's something they're going to probably work on. But I did expect them to reach the semifinals, but not in this fashion. This looked a little struggly.
He set the bar pretty low. We just want to reach the semifinal and get out of the groups. NRG should be winning this event hands down. They're the best team here.
They're again playing not to lose. They're not playing to win.
Exactly. Cirque, I mean, man up, win this event. That's where you should be.
Yeah, I think that's on the cards. They're one step closer, of course, now being semifinalists to making it to that grand final. The easy path, I can't say it enough, and I probably won't say it again. However, there is a chance I do say it again. We do have one more best-of-3 winners match. It's going to be Boot, Dreamscape, and Tai Lu to kick us off here for the last matchup of the day. You do not want to miss this action. My goodness, you don't want to miss it. I can't contain the excitement, which will be this best-of-3. Come with us. We'll be right back.
China number 1.
Jesus.
2.